Hello, this is the second video of my ca2 decoding pod. As we saw in the first video, I have some bugs in my game which I need to fix for my last CA, and I will finish that for my last CA. I won't look at the header file because they normally hold just the function that is used in the actual CPU. So and classes and all that. So I'll be looking at the CPU exactly. First off, we got the main. Uh, Up there, we got what type of game it is. Go down to the main and ask the user to enter a string into X. If they enter start, as I said here, they will start the game. If just enter exit, they will go down here and automatically exit the game. It asks for the user to enter a username and a race. They will be stored in a player 1 in the player class and be used throughout the game. I also have an item which is stored in the item class, which would be put into the inventory. The intro, then we have the intro would pass through what the player have put in. We'll get the name of what the player have put and get the race of what the player have put in the player one in the player class. It would then enter the room 1. So next we're going to look at the info class, and first off we have the intro, which is void, and it have the input of like what you put into the player class, and the pause give you time to read it. Next we have the outro, which pretty much the same which we saw, and then the game kind of banjacked at the end of the game, at the end of my walkthrough. And then the void deck, um, this is a string outro that's it import a string output and with the rest of the text. Next we're going to look at the room class. As we can say, as I said before, it get the player and the inventory and bring them into the room. It asks for input. The choice is down at the bottom. I'll show you in a minute. And the ITEI is the item which is in that room, and it would display what. So it will say, like as we saw, it said in the room you can see potion, and you can get the potion, and then it asks you what do you want to do, and whatever you type in there will go into the pass action we will see in a minute. So now let's check down to the choice thing, and the choice is getting the room information. So if go and find the factor of room in all rooms, so that is in the option. It would load the list, so it would go down here, load the text file that you have stored in there, and while it is good, it will while it is good, it would get the ID and put it into the load file. Then it will go back up here and it will print out the information of that room, and then go back up here. Okay, next is the power class, where we was in the room class. So let me pick one. Yeah, this is where the programmer was talking about that my text is too long, and I agree with him. So basically, let's do a part 4. So it get the input, and if the input is equal to go and then forward, then it move forward to that room, or if you go right, it move to that room with the inventory and the player going into that room. Then if anything else, it can't move that way. If it's used, then it will if you type use, it will say what do you, or if you type use potion, it will skip that and will show this that you use potion, and remove it and add health to your player. And then we have other function that's another use for another item. We have take, which will take the which will pass 5 factor 4. If we type inventory, it showed the inventory. If we type help, it was command and show all the thing. Else, it was a type can command complete command. Next, we're going to do the attack class, which is have a simple function which the person said was a bit dodgy, and I agree with him, so I'll fix that for this final CA. It's basically a boolean that if the player win, then then it will return true. Else, if the player lose, it will return false. So it enter into a do while loop. So it keep doing it until like one of them die, and it will ask for a random roll to get the random number. And if the roll is less than 6, the creature has hit you, and then it will go to the player class, and whatever the enemy attack is, it deals that much damage to the player, and it will get the player health, and if it's equal to 0, then player is dead and it will exit the while loop. Else, if the creature have been killed, it will exit the while loop. Else, if the roll is 20 or 19, if it's one hit kill, so it automatically return true and the player will pass. And it will do the loop while the player is alive or the enemy is. If the enemy is dead, it returns true, and if it not, if the player is dead, it should return false. Next is the enemy class. These here are the constructors, and if the enemy get hit, which is used in the attack function I showed you a minute ago. This is the enemy health, which is also used, and enemy damage, which is how much it can hit for. So now the player is pretty much the same, except for it got the getters of get race and get name for the intro outro, and it can get health added to it from the function potion. Next is the inventory. Well, first off, we have to do the item. Construct the item, item constructors, and the get name. Check the description, which it was not used in it, and the print I, which it was used for the rooms to print out what they can see. Next is the inventory, and pretty much the same. It take in the item in the room, so if they see an item and they pick it up, it should go automatically to add the add list and add the item to the list. It will, if they type in inventory, it should print out the inventory like this, and if they use an item, it will remove the item from the inventory. And I have a check here to see if the item is in the list. If it's not, then it should return false, and then it go on from there. The item that I show you, and the option class, which this is where we're gonna output the room function from my text file. So we got the two constructors here. We got the load room will load it in that kind of style, so the string delete will show empty thing, and then the print room will print it into that style, so it will go room number, or the room name, description, and the exit. And that pretty much sum up my that is pretty much the text, the code of my game, and I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait for your feedback. so I can improve on the game for the next EA. Thank you.